All right, welcome everybody. So I think we need to spend a little bit of time here in this live stream and shed some light on this new $2,000, sorry, let me say that again, $200 Social Security raise, $200 increase. And is this thing really going to be starting in January? I've seen this out there way too many times recently. I want to spend a little bit of time with you here in this live stream, talk about what this is all about, who is talking about this, what is this plan for the $200, where do we currently stand on this, and can we really expect this in just a matter of weeks here as we roll over into 2026? So I'm going to cover all that for you here in this live stream. Now, before we get into it, I have a really quick question for you. Have any of you ever dealt with shingles? Like, have you had shingles yet? As in, not like on your roof, but I mean like shingles that you get like in your body. Just really curious. If you have, drop a comment down below, or if you have not, just say yes or no. And how long did it last for you? I'm just really, really curious. To be honest with you, the last 11 days or so, I've been dealing with shingles, and honestly, it's really, really painful. Like the entire left side of my body is like on fire, and it like really hurts to move. As long as I don't move, I'm good. But like once I start moving, it's really painful. And so I'm just kind of curious, like how much more time do I have to deal with this? If any of you have been through this, I'm very curious to hear from you. Please drop a comment down below. I am just like really need this to be over with by now, okay? Anyway, I'd love to hear from you if you want to share. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. But yeah, anyway, I'd love to hear from you with your comments. All right, anyway, let's talk about this $200 and where we currently stand with this and what's happening. Okay, so I've seen this out there in the headlines a bunch of times. I've seen some other people talking about this as well in regards to the $200 per month raise. Now, obviously, this is not a new concept. We've heard about it many, many times over the last several years. It was originally brought up back in the beginning in March of 2020, so like nearly 6 years ago now. But it's been brought up many times since then as well. Now, most recently this year, it's been introduced a couple different times by a handful of different lawmakers in the Senate, okay? Now, most recently, about a month ago, give or take a little bit, Elizabeth Warren and about 10 other individuals in the Senate who have co-signed onto this have brought this back and talked about it, which is, again, why it's out there in the headlines so much yet again. So let's just hit on that for a minute and spend a little bit of time talking about this, okay? Let me recap just really quickly here. In case you did not hear what Elizabeth Warren and the other 10 that are co-sponsoring this have talked about recently, let me just bring you up to speed really quickly as far as the name of their legislation and what they're calling on here, because I think this is probably pretty important to understand. Okay, so this was actually originally introduced about, I don't know, I think maybe back in March or April. I don't know. It's earlier this year. It was originally introduced. And then Elizabeth Warren brought it back the end of October. So like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, something like that. She brought it back. Well, it's the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act, which you've certainly heard me talk about before in other videos. But anyway, basically what this is they're having a cow about these tariffs, right? I mean, obviously, the whole tariff situation, we've talked about that many times before, raising prices on consumer goods and everything. And we're the ones that are paying for the bulk of that. We already know that, no shocker whatsoever. But she's basically calling on the implementation of the tariffs, raising the prices on everything. So therefore, they want to implement this $200 per month raise for all Social Security beneficiaries. Again, all beneficiaries is what they want to do here. And basically be a temporary raise to benefits. So what they want to do is have it start in January and run for 6 months. That's it. Okay, 6 months, a temporary raise to benefits. Okay, so that's where this whole thing comes in, and that's basically just the plan here with what they want to do through the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act. Now, let's talk about where we currently stand on this. Here we are, as I host this live stream right now, in case you're watching the replay on this thing, I'm hosting this right now, the very beginning of December. We're only a couple days into December at this point. So there's, a few weeks left of the year. Now, lawmakers are in session for roughly the next 3 weeks or so, and then they're out of there. They're going to run off on vacation again. Another vacation. Life is tough, right? Yeah. So anyway, they're going to be off on vacation again, but they will be in session for the next few weeks. Now, according to what they want to do here in the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act, in order to get this $200 per month of a raise to benefits for basically the first 6 months of next year, yes, lawmakers would need to pass it, and yes, the president would need to sign off on that. Now, does that mean it's going to happen for sure, or does that mean it's definitely not going to happen? Well, it's a really good question. Let's talk about that because that's exactly what I've been seeing out there in the headlines and what I've seen other people talking about as well. To be 100% fair with you, right now, as we speak, right here, right now, the beginning of December, again, as I host this live stream, it has not been passed yet. However, technically, lawmakers still have about 3-ish weeks left in their session before they head out of town until the following, the new year, 2026, right? Then when they come back. But they'll be gone on vacation there. But they have not done it yet. But according to what they want to do here with this temporary raise to benefits is they could do it between now and the end of the year if they want it to actually be implemented in January, which is what they want to do. They want it to go into effect as of January, and for the next 6 months, basically the first 6 months of 2026, they want this $200 per month raise to be fully in effect, sending out to all beneficiaries $200 more per month for just a 6-month period of time as a temporary raise. Okay, sounds really good. Now, again, I said this a minute ago. I'm going to say it again really quickly. It has not been passed yet, okay? So if you've seen other headlines out there, if you've seen other people talking about this, I just want to reiterate, it's not been passed yet. Lawmakers could do it in the next 3 weeks or so before they leave out of town. But let me be fair with you, okay? Let me tell you what I, foresee happening here. Lawmakers are down to the wire here. They have all kinds of things that they do because they don't do their work on time. They procrastinate on everything. They're too worried about running out of town on vacation. They don't do their work that they were supposed to do months ago, so they need to cram everything in before now and the end of the year. To be 100% fair with you, they have other items on their priority list right now that are significantly higher priority in their vision, in their opinion, than getting this $200 per month raise distributed right now, okay? So even though technically they could do it, I just want you to be aware, even though other people are talking about this, even though it is in the headlines all over the place, I see this multiple times a day in different headlines, even though it's all over out there, and they could do it, I just want to be fair. I would not count on them actually doing this before the end of the year, okay? Again, I'm not saying that I don't want them to. I'm just saying I wouldn't really count on it. If I'm being 100% transparent and totally honest with you about this, I just wouldn't be like, oh, I can't wait for them to pass this in the next 3 weeks. I just would have a hard time thinking that they're going to prioritize this to the degree that that they put it in front of the line of some of these other pieces of legislation and things like that they need to get done in the next few weeks here before they run out of town for a few weeks on vacation. Okay, so that's where we're at with this. They could do it. Still want to say that. They absolutely could do this. I honestly just wouldn't really, bank on it as of right now. Now, there's a couple of little problems that I want to point out really quickly with this legislation, and I think, and again, I've mentioned this before in other videos that I've talked about this, which is, okay, they've indicated this $200 per month raise to all Social Security beneficiaries, including VA and RRB, and basically all benefits administered by Social Security, which is honestly very, very cool. This would be very nice for a lot of people. But again, as I continue to come back and say, a $200 per month raise across, call it 75 million people alone that receive Social Security, right? So let's just say basically, let's just say 80 million people. For easy mathematical purposes here, let's just say 80 million people, $200 per month would be, what was it, $16 billion a month? So that would be like, what's the math on that? I'm trying to calculate it really fast here. 32, 90, 92, like 90, I'm trying to figure 96, yeah, $96 billion is what it would cost. Okay, check my math on it if you want, just literally figuring it out right now as I talk. $96 billion is how much this would cost to send $200 per month more per month for a 6-month period of time. $96 billion. I'm pretty sure my math is right on that. Check it if you want to, just to clarify it, just to make sure that I'm right on that. But again, $96 billion is how much that would actually cost to send it out for 6 months. Now, they also want this to be paid out of Social Security. I don't know. I feel like that's a very hard sell. When we're in this situation right now, which, by the way, another report was just released on this, saying that Social Security is going to be insolvent in, 2022, early 2023, right? That's only like 6.5 years from right now. We've been talking about that, which is going to lock in a 24% cut to benefits. That's big. So in a time right now when we're right down to the wire, 6.5 maybe years of solvency left within Social Security before they run out of money and need to cut benefits by 24%, do you really think that they're going to come in and extract another $96 billion out of the trust fund and just say, here you go, here's a one-off $200 payment for 6 months, and now you're good to go, right? I don't think this is going to solve the problem. If anything, it's going to bring insolvency closer to present time, and it's not really going to give the beneficiaries the relief that is needed. It's going to be a lose-lose for a lot of people in a lot of big ways, right? So that's one thing that I want to point out. If they were to do this, rather than paying it out of Social Security, why wouldn't they just pay this out of general federal funds and leave the money within Social Security to avoid that insolvency a few months earlier, right? So that's number one. But not only that, do all beneficiaries need a $200 per month raise? And again, I really want to emphasize the word need, not want, but rather need. I want a lot of things. Do I need a lot of things? No, I don't need a lot of things, but I want a lot of things, right? But I like to be kind of a minimalist. I don't like a lot of extra stuff. I just don't, right? That's just kind of how I am. But my point being is that do higher income people on Social Security need a $200 per month raise? The simple answer to that is probably no. So there's probably a percentage, maybe, I don't know, 25, 30% of Social Security beneficiaries that probably don't actually need the raise. Maybe it's 50% of beneficiaries. I'm not really sure. But we could potentially bring this entire price tag of sending out $200 per month for beneficiaries down from, say, $96 billion that I mentioned just a couple minutes ago. We could possibly cut that in half to maybe like, I don't know, $48 billion or something like that, right? Or keep the price tag the same as $96 billion, same amount of money to go out, but send it out to 50% of the beneficiaries. And rather than $200 a month, maybe we could do $400 a month. Or maybe we could do $200 rather than for 6 months, we could do $200 a month for maybe 12 months or something like that. That's another aspect that I would want them to explore rather than say it's $200 a month for 6 months and then they kick everybody off of that. I don't know. I foresee that if they were to bring this in, although it's a great idea and it's a cool concept to help people out with a little more money per month for a 6-month period of time, I fear that the problem would be is that people are so in need right now of that extra money that by the time the 6 months zips by, that I think we all recognize six months goes by very fast. When that 6 months ends, all of a sudden, all these millions of people, tens of millions of people get dropped from this extra $200 a month. And now all of a sudden we're in a situation where, I was reliant on that 200 and now it's gone. Now what do I do, right? Exactly. So I feel like we'd be putting people into a even worse predicament than we're currently in right now. But again, don't get me wrong. I agree. The $200 would be certainly very, very nice. But for a lot of reasons, I feel like this could be structured significantly better so that people aren't just falling off of this $200 per month cliff after a 6-month period of time and then basically being like, this is really bad financially, for all these millions of people. Does that kind of make sense as well? So although it's a cool proposal, although it's a great idea, and something that would help out a lot of people in a massive way, I feel like we've also got some major structural issues within this proposal, again, as originally introduced, as the Social Security Emergency Inflation Relief Act, again, introduced earlier this year, and again, reintroduced about maybe 5-ish weeks ago, give or take a little bit, by Elizabeth Warren and about 10 other co-signers on this legislation, okay? So anyway, if you're just jumping on right here, quick little recap on this, which is this. Been seen out there in the headlines like multiple times a day. I see this in the headlines. I've seen some other people talking about this. What about the $200? Is it really starting in January? If not, what is the likelihood of it actually passing and going into fruition here between now and the end of the year? Who would be eligible for this? All the details like that. Well, I kind of just ran through all those details like that, but again, I just want to emphasize this. I said it earlier, and again, I just want to give a quick little recap on this. Even though we're seeing this out there in the headlines everywhere right now, and people coming out suggesting, it's coming, it could be happening for January. It sounds cool, it sounds great. Lawmakers have not approved it quite yet, even though they could, to be fair, they could do it in the next 3 weeks or so that they are still in session before they leave on their vacation. But if I'm being totally fair with you, I don't think they're going to prioritize this to actually get it done, as in pass through the House, pass through the Senate. Actually, technically, it's in the Senate, so they would pass it through the Senate first. They'd pass it through the House, and then push it on to the president for the final signature, turning that into law. Okay. So I don't know. I just have a hard time thinking that they're going to prioritize this, considering it was introduced months and months and months ago and then reintroduced about 5 weeks ago. If they were going to do it, what have they been waiting for, right? Honestly, if I were to be, in control of this, if I were to be the one saying here, if I'm the one pulling the puppet, the puppet master, if I'm pulling the strings on this thing, here's what I would say. Forget about the $200 per month raise and issue some type of monthly, quarterly, or just a massive one-off payment to people in the form of exactly what the president has indicated, which is the $2,000 dividend, a $2,000 stimulus, something like that. I would say that would have way more likelihood of passing faster than it would than this $200, if that makes sense, right? And again, I think that also needs some massive work as well, because it's encompassing way too many people. As we've heard about so many times before in other reports and studies and surveys and research that have been conducted over the last several years, realistically, next time that stimulus needs to go out, it does not need to go out to everybody. It only needs to go out to maybe 30% of the population. Like the lowest income 30% of people is really all that money needs to go out to. You could send out a ton of money to these individuals that say the lowest income people that are at, say, maybe the lower 30% of our population of income. You could send them out a massive amount of money and still have the same stimulative impact that we've seen and that we would get if we sent out significantly more to everybody. I don't know. We've seen it from report after report after report. I've talked about it many times over the last several years. A lot of studies have been conducted on this. And if we really do this massive distribution of all kinds of money to 85% of the population, although it would be cool, it's probably going to spark a ton of inflation yet again and probably supply chain issues, just like we saw years ago when we got all those stimulus checks, simply because everybody's rushing the store to buy basically the same things. And all of a sudden we have empty store shelves and rapidly rising inflation because everything's getting bid up. That's what happens, right? So anyway, hope this helps you understand this $200 and again, where we are currently at with this, as well as giving you the clarification and further details on this as far as where we are at right here, right now, okay? Anyway, I hope this helps you. Wanted to jump on this live stream here for you really quickly and just talk through the latest details on this, answer some of those questions that I've seen showing up, as well as highlight some of the headlines and what I've seen other people talking about this in regards to the $200 per month raise, okay? Again, to be fair, it could happen. I would not bet on it as of right now. Between now and the end of the year, for it to start in January, if I'm being fair, I just wouldn't count on it. I would not bet on this happening between now and the end of the year so that it can start in January, just because we all recognize the speed that lawmakers work. It's very slow. It's very slow. Whatever other words I could be using to describe slow, that's what we want to use, okay? Anyway, I hope this helps you. And again, just want to give you this quick live stream here, talk about the latest details, where we're at with this. Stand by. We got some more information that hit the wire today. I'm going to come back in a little while and talk about another topic here that a lot of people want to know about, but some more information hit the wire just a short time ago about the $2,000 stimulus. Hang tight for that. I'm going to come back in a separate video here very shortly, and we'll talk about the details of that. But yes, more information coming out just today on the $2,000 dividend or the $2,000 stimulus check. So anyway, hope this helps you. And again, if you're just jumping on right here, right now, I asked this question at the beginning of the video. I want to ask it again really quickly. And you certainly do not need to share. If you want to, I'd appreciate it. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. But my question for you is, have you had shingles? Have you had shingles yet? Not on your roof, but shingles in your body. Okay? If so, yes or no, drop a comment down below and tell me, if you can, please, how long did it last for you? A long time or what? I said this at the beginning of the video. For the last 11 or so days, I've been dealing with shingles on the left side of my body, and it hurts to move a lot. So again, I'm trying to wonder how long is this going to last? I was at the doctor's again yesterday for a follow-up. I was in urgent care a week ago. It was nasty. So anyway, I'm trying to figure out how much longer do I have to deal with this? Constant pain. It's not a fun experience. I'm just being fair with you, okay? So anyway, I'd love to hear from you. If you've gone through this yet, please let me know. What was your experience like and how long did it last for you? I want this to be over, right? Anyway, I hope this helps you. Please have a nice afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Please share the video. Otherwise, check out the other thousands of videos here on the channel, about 6,200-ish videos here on the channel. Otherwise, if you're new, please consider subscribing. 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Otherwise, again, stay tuned. I'm going to be back in another live stream here shortly, and we'll talk through some of the more of the details. Anyway, have a nice afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to slowly reach forward and unplug this whole thing and try not to, be in too much pain here as I do this. Okay, anyway, have a nice afternoon. If you're still here, I just want to say this much. You may want to click off now. I'm going to unplug the microphone when I do. My phone starts talking. So otherwise, I just want to let you know that. All right, anyway, enjoy, and I'll catch you again a little bit later. And I look forward to reading your comments down below. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah. All right, we'll see you later.